Hello everyone, artist Charles Wolf here. Let's get to some painting. Going to start today with some cobalt blue, cadmium red, and a touch of the Mars black. I'm starting today with a bright brush, and we're going to blend this darker blue color, dark purple mix together. You can see my palette there. I have cadmium red, titanium white, cadmium yellow, cobalt blue, and some Mars black. Putting in some of these clouds, and take that blue, add a touch of the white to it. As we get closer to the horizon line down here at the bottom, we want these to be lighter. I'm going to use a few of these strokes to create some perspective lines, sort of figure out where the edges of this river is going to go. And start to put in some of these distant mountains using that light blue. I'm going to come back in with a little bit of a darker blue mix here. Keeping everything very loose and quick with the brushwork. This is a process of adjusting. Put something in, make an adjustment, and go forward from there. Adding some more white here to my dirty brush, and just putting in the most distant hills. Back to my mixture of cobalt blue, cadmium red, and Mars black. Touch more of the red, really push the purple. That's going to darken the color nicely. And go back into the darker portions of my sky and of these billowing clouds at the top here. Very dark. This work has a cohesiveness from the use of a lot of blue. It has a lot of cohesion. And in contrast to that, we're going to bring in the yellow in the sky for the sunrise and a bit of the white. There's lots of blue here. Basically, it's a very cold morning, and I'm really trying to capture that feeling through the colors, using very cool colors like blue. Some more of the white, loose strokes, layering over, not blending really that much here. Some more white. Horizontal brushwork, making these kind of strands, blending a little more, going back to just laying in new layers of paint, trying not to overblend this. More blending the bottoms and leaving the tops alone. Some more of the white, putting in a few more strands here, lightening up the top of these hills, looking for some distinction of the sky versus the beginning of the mountains, blending things out. The yellow will help create that delineation to a greater degree. Here's some more of the dark blue mix, filling in any of the gaps that I left of the canvas showing through. It's a very cool piece, so having the canvas underneath be white totally works for the piece. Okay, here's some cadmium yellow and titanium white with a clean, bright brush. Lots of the white, bit of the yellow. Blend the two, equal parts I would say. Get a lot of the paint on there and start there, covering up anywhere where the white is showing. Trying not to blend or mix with the blue at all, so be very careful with your brushwork. Make sure that you're not blending into that wet blue, but are staying focused on the areas with the white. And if you're going to pull your brush into the blue, pull it across to the left, wipe it off on a paper towel, then go back into your paint so that you do not mix the blue with the yellow. If it starts to mix too much, it'll go green on you, and you don't want that to happen. some more of the white. We're going to cover over any of the sections that went a little bit green, and that white will help with the transition of the two colors. Pulling across, taking that white, covering over any of the mixing and the blending with the green. Going a little higher, pulling out some of those strands, using horizontal brushwork, side to side motion. You can see how light I'm doing this. I'm not pressing too hard onto the canvas. If I want things to blend, I'll press hard. If I want the color to lay on top, I'll lightly and barely press at all. So I am adjusting the pressure of my brush on that canvas board. The canvas board, by the way, is 8 by 10 inches. Great size to do a little piece and do a little study. This piece would look really cool at a very large size. A lot of these pieces I think could scale upwards a good deal and be quite striking. I do the small version as practice, and then if I get a commission or something, I'll sometimes redo these paintings at a much bigger scale. Contact me and I would love to do a big painting for you. Bringing in some of the light blue mix here, lightening up the farther hills here, like they're kind of dropping away to the right. It's kind of a nice aesthetic and creates some movement in the piece, which is great. Some more of the dark blue mix, cobalt blue, a bit of that cadmium red, and some of the Mars black, but not too much. Starting to lay in some darker contrasting areas here where these mountains are. I'm going to turn my brush so just the edge of it is being used, just the corner, and we're going to use that corner of the brush to create some tree lines, sort of implying some pines here up in the mountains, maybe some deciduous trees as well. I'm not going to define it too much. You can see that I'm being careful not to ruin the tops of my mountain line, keeping it quite light in the distance, and then blending down below. It's all about contrast. You need the darker color to show off the lighter color. Don't blend the two together. You need there to be some delineation. Here I'm really bringing in these trees, just pushing little vertical strokes, create this hillside. I'm gonna have it come up on the right hand side a bit to create the layers. And a bit on this side to fill in the space. We're going to come back in with a darker mix anyhow. A bit more of the black in here. Start to bring this in. A little more of the blue. Start to put another layer in here for contrast. Things that are closer to you should be larger. That's why I have the closest layer coming higher than the previous layer. That way you get those layers and you get some depth. Here is some of the cadmium yellow and a bit of the white, clean brush, and we'll start to bring in the reflection in this river. It's a little bit too big, so what we're going to do is take the blue, I'm going to push it over, and we're going to adjust the angle of this river. I want to make it a little bit smaller. It's too present in the piece currently. More horizontal motion. Sort of covering over, and we're just going to blend across this yellow. It's okay if it goes a little bit green. We're gonna layer over some more paint in a moment anyhow. I thought for a minute maybe I wouldn't have the river, but decided to put it back in right here. Here's some more cobalt blue and titanium white. A little bit too light, more of the blue in there. Back to my dark blue mix. Just trying to connect and blend these areas together. Got a little light, so we're going to adjust that. Okay, here's the clean brush. Make sure it's very clean, no blue on there. Here is some cadmium yellow with the titanium white, and we're going to put in this river. More white, lots of paint, quick horizontal work. Short brush strokes, getting smaller, using less of the brush as it gets farther in the distance. It needs to have that shape where it sort of funnels in, because if it's too big in the distance, it will not look correct. To cut across the canvas at the bottom and get over to the side, and that'll kind of fade away over here as it kind of curves around and follows the angle, drawing your eye to the right towards the sunrise. Okay, here's some more of the dark blue mix, adding more of the red, really going for a deep purple here with the addition of that red, putting in some darker boulders here, cleaning up my layers to make everything look correct. See, I'm making this section bigger because it is closer to me. I need to have more layers and more definition. Purple down here as well. Darken it up a bit. I really want the focus to be on the sky and in the distance, so we need to make sure that the foreground is dark enough. Just the tip and the edge of that brush to create these tops of the trees. Touch more of the lighter blue, putting it in, same style, same technique. And then we're going to blend around it. I think that'll look nice. Got a little too light, but we'll put some contrast in here. A little bit of light showing through in places. Okay, back to my titanium white, clean brush. Put some more white right on the edge. The sun is rising, beautiful morning, cold morning, winter morning over the mountains. And with that, we are done. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back soon with another painting lesson.